Start recording. Stop recording. Button.
Hello, children, and welcome to my video. This video is entitled "Update to YouTube Copper Bullsh." Can't say that word, can I? Anyways, I've done a video on copper, but I want to talk about my channel first of all. This channel is not made for kids. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it's not made for kids. I know there's people like my mother and my sisters would probably want this channel so it's made for kids, so people can't comment on it. But I've got a podcast there, and if you're worried about me making, stuff where people can comment, I've got a podcast on the web, and you can't comment on that. So no, and it's on Spotify and all that jizz. Oh, probably that's a swear word. I don't care. Anyway, the reason that I'm not making my channel for kids is because I am a broadcaster, and at the end of the day, I don't think I'm violating anything YouTube deems is for kids or not for kids. Now, obviously, my toy videos, I'll just let a bot choose that one, which videos. But obviously, there's no swear words in those. I mean, I say the words greedy cow on that video, but still, I don't throw F-bombs on. If I'm doing a toy review, I just, use my common sense just in case families are going to watch it. And they're the most searched videos on my channel anyway. So, yeah, I'm just, the whole thing, this kids not for kids thing, I don't really care for it. I've never really cared for YouTube's algorithms. I don't make any money off it. And I wouldn't use YouTube to make money from anyways, because as MindMob, we're a pretend business, but still, we're doing a video soon into why you shouldn't rely on YouTube as a full job. Now, when I say this, right, and I'm going to talk about this just a little bit on the channel update because I want to talk about this. People rely on YouTube to put food on the table. I understand, right? I understand there's people out there, they want to make, put food on the table. If you're a kids content creator, right, and you make money from YouTube, there's ways around this, right? First of all, there's Patreon, right? That's thing number one. Thing number two, right, is make sure you put other places where people can talk to you. So there's Facebook and stuff like that. If you want kids to talk to you, may I strongly say that you build an internet forum, because kids can use internet forums. So, there are ones for kids these days. I would avoid, though, touching anything like Kick Messenger or anything like that. Don't use any social messaging platforms, because, stay away from those. Just set up like, I'm trying to think. You could set up like a work email thing, so if you wanted people to, again, email you, they're not technically emailing you. Maybe you could probably have somebody to deal with your emails, and then they will forward you the emails, and so on and so forth. So maybe if you are a professional YouTuber, my way is get a secretary. If you're not doing this for fun, like I do, if you're not doing this as a means a medium where to sort of like share certain ideas and stuff like that, if you're doing this professionally, get a lawyer. Yeah. Get someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to law. Because they're going to help you. They're directing you. I've spoke to people who work in law. and they have basically given me one piece of advice, and the piece of advice is, what content are you actually doing, and all that kind of stuff. So it's all that. It's all down to the content as well. If you're making, right, here's the thing. If you're making, I don't know, a sort of Jack and Ori type video that's aimed at kids, right, then set up a website, set up a merch store. You'll make money that way. Books, there's books. You can write books. There's money in books, book publishing, and several YouTubers are going to go down that route, because then your content is being geared towards that book. What other ways could you make money from your YouTube videos if your YouTube videos are made for kids and you can't, and you're struggling and strifing or whatever? Well, there is, like I said, making a book is one. You could put out crumbs. What could you sell? There's things that you could sell through the internet. So, maybe the video that you've made, and I know people have done this in the past, when we had the demonetizing and all that stuff happening, you could sell the video you've made through Amazon. So people could still watch the same video if they wanted, and also have all the community and stuff like that. So, yeah, you could probably do a video. Maybe you could do it on a DVD, or just people buy the video through Amazon. If you are a music creator and you're making kids' music, or you're making music that's, I don't know, YouTube have deemed it as made for kids, then it's quite easy. Sell the album. What else could you do? Well, there's services you could put out. You could have a service. What are you capable of doing? The list is endless. Could you sell something from the money that you're making online? And try and get, if you can't get a sponsored deal through YouTube, get a sponsored deal through something else. Say, for example, you're doing My Little Pony, which is Hasbro, right? Now, if it's My Little Pony, you might want to find something that's horse-related. So you might want to do something that's horse-related. And still, you can talk through YouTube. You could say, "Hi, viewers, this video is sponsored by so-and-so." And then go on to do your video. You could make you could get somebody to make a little ad, pay them about £4 or £5, do the ad, and then maybe, what's the name do? You could then create the video with a little ad at the start. It's not an ad that YouTube puts out, it's one that you put out yourself as an intro. So you put out before your intro, so it's like you make 2 intros. And lots of people used to do this back in the day, before YouTube became, monetized and all that business. And then if you've got Facebook, you could sell your horsey stuff, or you could help, people could pay you to sell horsey stuff. There's affiliate links and all that good stuff. And then, you're making your My Little Pony video, and also somebody's sponsoring you to make your video, but you've got to promote some of the horsey stuff out there as well, if you are a horsey lover and you are a My Little Pony lover. So that's just another example. If you are a Hot Wheels guy, I was just going out to the boys now. Hot Wheels, I've got to do something with the boys. If you are a Hot Wheels person, maybe you could get a car dealership, something like a seat cover or something, and just sell seat covers with your channel name and Hot Wheels thing, and have them sponsor you and whatever. Gamers, I know a lot of gamers are moaning at the moment on YouTube, right? Well, there's loads of things you can do as a gamer, right? If you're on Twitch, still on Twitch, you could do, your Twitch stream, get your revenue through there. get your sponsor deal through there. Get somebody in the gaming community to support you, and so on and so forth. But I want to just say something just a moment before I do a little bit of an update and stuff about where this channel's going. I just want to say that I think you should follow a few simple Ofcom rules. Just a few. So one is, if you are a family-friendly channel, don't be dropping F-bombs. Don't be dropping F-bombs. That's rule number one. Rule number two, respect all religions, respect all ethnic, and listen to the radio. Listen to the radio. Think about some of your favourite broadcasters on the radio. Do they talk about religion and politics? If the answer is no, then don't talk about religion and politics on your YouTube. I would say listen to something like Greatest Hits Radio or Smooth Radio if you're in the UK. In the US, you might want to listen to something different. But yeah, technically, if it's not mentioning, if you listen to the radio and they don't talk about a specific thing, then don't talk about it. If you're making a family-friendly YouTube video, don't talk about those things. Treat it like a radio show. Thing number three, if you are making something that's for young adults, make sure that you do keep the content toned down. So look at your age range of audience and make sure you're keeping stuff toned down a little bit. If something, say for example, is going down the sexual realm, we'll have it that be. Say if it's a video about 2 teddy bears and a puppet, then just be careful about where that video's going. I'm not saying you can't make a video around that, but just be careful where it goes. People do touch on the edutainment and they make their own sort of sex ed videos and stuff like that, but just make sure that you use the right words and terms. If you're going down the serious way, the sex ed way, do your research. If you're not, if you're just sort of going around the jokey way, like if it's a parody on something, again, there's some great things you could look at. You could look at some great sexual parodies that don't take it over the line. They go near the line, but they don't take it over it too much. So, for example, you could look at The Simpsons. Some of the early Simpsons stuff that never took it too far over the edge. You could look at, say, Rocko's Modern Life. Even though Rocko's Modern Life went over the line, you can look at some of the stuff that doesn't take it over the line. I'm trying to think of another cartoon that's kind of, it's hard because some of my favourite cartoons go over the line. Like Family Guy and stuff like that. But even then, it depends what you're doing and it depends on the scenes. So, yeah. And then the last thing that I want to advise people with, and I will come back to this, I'm doing a business video pretty soon where I'll talk about the same things. Another thing that I want to know is, if you are doing a video that's sort of Monty Python, you could have a character in your video that brings it out, brings it back a bit, whoa, you're going over the line a bit. I've actually got a friend on YouTube, I'm going to mention him, Big Phil Animations. He's very worried about his videos. I've watched his videos, and there's only one video that I could say goes over the line, but it's visual. It's not actually... I always listen out for the non-visual stuff, but there is one video where it goes a bit over the top visually. It's called Edwards Magazines. but it's such a cool video, and the parody is a visual joke, and I put that out. It's, you know, it's a visual thing. But you know, I think the only word he used was bloody, and he kept talking to me about it. And he was so scared about using it, and I had to take him aside. To look, you know, bloody's not nothing. Bloody isn't really. It's just a load of blood. I wouldn't recommend the kids watched something that said bloody in it, but you know, come on, look at the Bradshaws. Which, to be frankly honest, there's another thing. If you listen to the Bradshaws, listen to Buzz Hawkins, and Buzz Hawkins, right? Even the episodes where they're quite filthy, like what's it? Oh, the Wrigleys. Right? There's an episode called The Wrigleys. I'm not going to spoil it for you because it is really funny. It had me in stitches. But seriously, right? Listen to Buzz Hawkins' work. It's very witty. Yeah, he mentions bloody a lot. He says the word bloody. But in fact, it's all really witty humour, even when it's going over the borderline. You know, Buzz Hawkins knew his audience, and he knew some of those audience there'd be parents probably listening to the show. So he kind of, you know, even when Alf takes it a bit too far, you've got Audrey pulling him back. But even the episodes where Audrey doesn't pull him back, he pulls himself back. He knows when to cross the line. There's an episode where, you know, where Billy's in the bathtub and Billy's having a go at Alf, and Alf is going, oi, you know, let's keep it friendly, you know. So it's not all, it's, you know, and Alf does tell Billy off like a dad would. You know, it's like, you know, your mum and dad. You listen to these episodes, it's kind of what your mum and dad might tell you, your gran and granddad might tell you. It's those types of episodes, very witty, very witty. And even Buzz Hawkins says himself, you know, he wouldn't come out with some of these things that the kids say. You know, he'd come out with something quite witty, you know. Which it's kind of there's even a song which is "You Have to Laugh at You," which Buzz Hawkins does himself, and he describes a lot of stuff, but he makes it so the people that can understand it find it funny. The people that don't understand it, it's all right. They'll have their own interpretation of it, and that's what you want, you know. And this should go out for all the YouTubers that are making, you know, sort of young adults content. You could make something exactly not like the Bradshaws, but you could make content. So if we could say, for example, you've got the two teddy bears, you know, you could have it so they're rubbing belly buttons or something like that, and you know, people kind of get the gist of what's going on, and you know, it doesn't have to go all, you know, and you have to be witty. You know, you've got to do your research. You know, look to all the people that have come before. Spike Milligan, Round the Horn, Buzz Hawkins, all these people that came before. They were very witty with their jokes, and they were very clever. And even with the ones that went over the edge, there was one in the Goons, I can't remember. And it was Minnie Bannister, and I can't remember it. And it, you know, Peter Sellers was one that went over the edge, but he did it in a very, very witty way. You wouldn't even know, and if you listen to it, you think, "Oh my goodness grief!" You know, and it's that when you get what it is, it makes you laugh and it makes you cry, but you've got to, you know, you've got to do your research, and you know, because you could even do something about Boris Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn. You could do a little thing, a puppet sketch with them, and you could think of something dead witty, you know. And it doesn't have to be rude, but you know, I mean, look at the king of comedy, Ken Dodd. Ken Dodd was actually very witty, very funny. People laughed at his jokes. And he wasn't rude. He didn't have to be rude. The guy could be rude without not being rude. And it's strange. And he was also the king of great assumptions. He could put an assumption in just when you thought he was going to say something, and it was again very witty, done very cleverly. Because he thought, I'm not going to swear, I'm not going to be rude, but I want to throw something in there which everybody can laugh at. And it's one of those things, you've got to know what to do. It's one of those things. And if you are doing something rude, remember to sort of keep it family friendly. Like Buzz Hawkins did. And you want to have, if you're doing something where there's two characters, make sure you've got somebody, a bit like an Audrey. Every we've all got one of them in our family. Somebody that's holding back the humour a little bit, just a little bit. But anyway, enough on that. So my channel, what am I doing with my channel? Well, I'm creating another channel, which is going to be called Mind Mob 2. I'm going to create another channel which has all the business stuff on. This channel will have all the random stuff on. I'll have another channel with DJ Megatron stuff on, and I'll have another channel with just Magic Silver Room and some gaming stuff on. So yeah, this channel will still be sort of random. It'll be like Chris215's channel. So there's stuff for people that are like the radio shows. There's stuff on here. There's updates every now and again to update people. But yeah, what do I think to this copper, though, before I go? What do I think this FTC business? What do I think this kid's not made for kids? Well, I'm a broadcaster, and technically I don't need to assess where something's going to be made for kids or not made for kids, because it should be made for the whole family. So if someone's going to, it's the same. I treat my YouTube content the same. I'd rather someone comment on my stuff. If I find that it's a naughty kid, though, I will, I've had to go through comments and delete a load. But, come on and comment on my videos and just be kind. Just be kind. Just be kind and mindfulness. I'm not having a go at people. There's a video that's somewhere on the channel. It's called A Video I Did to Educate Trolls. So this isn't a video I'm doing to educate trolls. But this is a video I am doing to educate some of those people. I am doing a business video along the line, pretend and play office video, which is for everybody, for kids, and also for adults. So I've got that business video coming soon, and it's the business of YouTube and how to look after your channel and how to manage other channels. Suppose that's coming up pretty soon. And yeah, so, and also speaking of YouTube, this website was a bit like, it's a bit like what Cyberclouds is going to be. So it's got you got your videos, you've got your comments, you got your community and all that business. But we have a community right here on this channel of a few people. And I'm not bothered about growing as a YouTuber. And the reason to why is because I'm not doing YouTube seriously. I never did YouTube seriously. And I'm not attending to do YouTube seriously. But the other channels might be, the DJ Megatron channel might just, reel in some people that are into DJing and music. And so I want to reel in those people. And obviously talk about stuff that's happening and gigs and stuff. And so, yeah. I did want to do a channel called The Underground Series, and I did want to kind of, speaking of Big Phil animations, I want to get them to do some strange animations that would be stuff that you would probably find on sort of strange parts of the internet. You know, I've got something. Also, my imaginary band were doing some stuff as well, but I wanted to do something called the Circle of Skulls, which is just a circle of skulls. But I kind of, you know, I like weird YouTube. I like weird YouTube stuff. I like, you know, I like salad fingers and what's the other videos I go to watch? Creepy doll videos. Shay St. John, Terror the Terrible Android, Suicide Mouse. What else do I watch on YouTube? Oh yeah, the fake LSD trips. In fact, if you want a great trippy video, my favourite one is one where it's a kaleidoscope, and it just goes out, and it is brilliant. And the music to the video is great as well. So it starts out small and then goes big, and the video sort of just moves. And I actually knew somebody that could draw like that. Actually, the art was so brilliant. You know, you looked at their art and it's like the image was like moving on the wall. Every time you looked at the image, it was like you were moving, and it's one of my favourite pieces of art. I nearly bought it actually. But yeah, I like that sort of art. When you look at it, it makes it look so you know, it gives you that sort of illusion. I like illusions, so yeah. And obviously, what's the other videos that I like? That's strange. I don't know. I'll do a top 10 strange videos, but I won't put it here on YouTube. I'll put it on Facebook.
Stop recording.